Who are the Ebyonym? I know. Of course I know. You know how I got to know them? Is when I was trying to ascertain how there could have been two sermons on the Mount. How a sermon so obviously contrary to Christianity, one that destroys the entire religion of Christianity. And there it is in the beginning of a book called Matthew. And it's 3 chapters long, and it is, or 2 chapters long. It is devastating. Every word of it undermines and destroys Christianity. Why is it there? And then you turn to the Olivet Discourse, which does the same thing. It says, if anybody claims to be a Christ, he's out of here. Don't follow them. Don't believe it. And includes some prophecies, but it's very clear that whoever delivered that message knew what he was talking about. Whoever delivered the Sermon on the Mount, he knew what he was talking about. And it's because the Ebyonym wrote it down. They were the eyewitnesses. Other than Dode as a prophet, being an eyewitness of what he would achieve while crucified and while fulfilling Pesach and Matzah on the way to Bekurim, the only other eyewitnesses, they aren't the gospel writers. None of them were eyewitnesses. Most weren't even in the country. Most didn't even speak Hebrew. No, the eyewitnesses were the Ebyonym. They wrote a narrative called According to the Hebrew. And they recorded 2 events. And when you look at the book of Matthew, you recognize that 80% of the book is plagiarized from Mark, who wrote the Gospel according to Paul, and Luke, who was Paul's propagandist and faith healer, spiritual healer. And Matthew, 80% of it just pilfered from those 2 sources. The remaining 20%, you got it. He plagiarized the Ebyonym, or we wouldn't know what they said because, of course, their texts were destroyed. The Romans didn't like anything that was written in Hebrew, and they wrote in Hebrew. That's who they are. And when you figure out who they are, then you now have a contemporary eyewitness account, in addition to Dode providing the eyewitness account, including Yahowah in the 53rd chapter and in the 9th chapter providing an eyewitness account to what happened in 33 CE in terms of, and also Dode as Gabriel, Gabor El, God's most courageous and compassionate man, providing an eyewitness account of what would occur. So you have Dode's eyewitness account through Daniel. You have Dode's eyewitness account through his Mizmor and his Mashal. You have Dode's eyewitness account provided by Yahowah in the 89th Mizmor. You have Yahowah, the great prophet's eyewitness account in Yahowah 9 and 53. And in addition to all of that, you have the Ebyonym. They're called Ebionites, those open to and desirous of deliverance. They're the ones who are actually named in the Sermon on the Mount. The second Sermon on the Mount, Dode's son would deliver the first of them. Dode, the father, delivered the second of them exactly 1,000 years later on the same place. So this is the story of who they are, and the very fact that I was able to recognize who they are and write about them and their history and distinguish them. And then Dode says, yeah, my Chakmah Choter, he's going to be smart enough. He'll figure it out. And he'll tell you the importance of it all. Because that Sermon on the Mount actually is important. Do not think that I came to annul the Torah and prophets. No. I came to fulfill the Torah. I walked out of the pages of the Torah. It's also the book which warns the world about the wolf in sheep's clothing that would mislead many. The Benjamite, Paul. Yes, indeed. And it said, do not ever believe that there's a Christ in the Olivet Discourse. It's all there for you. All provided by these men, eyewitnesses who wrote in Hebrew, the Ebonites, the Ebon,